All right, well, good afternoon. I want to welcome you to this Thursday edition of TNT here at PCC. You know, as we get together on this afternoon, I want to make you aware of some exciting news, and that's this, that we're going to actually begin and have our first on-campus worship experience in over 8 weeks this Sunday back at PCC. And so I want to invite you to be a part of that if it's something that you feel like is right for you after we talk about what that means, because I don't want you to get too far ahead of yourself. It's not like everything's going back to normal. We've closely looked at what's going on and tried to weigh out all the different things. And look, we recognize that not everybody sees this exactly the same way, and that's okay. Not even the experts see everything the same way. If you go back and watch those who are supposedly tasked with knowing everything that needs to happen about this, they say do this and then don't do that, or this and that and then that. It's it's some uncertainty and some unknown things, and so we've tried to look at as much of that as we can. Talk to the folks who are in authority with the government, to talk to the people that we know in the healthcare field, and at this time, we feel like it's the right move for us to take a kind of an intermediate step to where we're having some actual on-campus experiences this Sunday. Now, I want to preface all that by saying that if you're not comfortable, or if you don't feel like this is the right thing for you to do, you should not come this Sunday. You should wait until you feel good about being around others if that's something that's a concern to you. You should not in any way feel obligated or feel like you're doing the wrong thing if in your heart of hearts you don't feel like coming is the right move for you or your family right now. That's just a given, and so I want to make sure that everyone understands that my opinion and the opinion of our leadership is that you should not feel coerced or feel compelled to do anything in regard to this that makes you feel uncomfortable if you're doing that out of the right motivation. So with that being said, let me tell you a little bit about how it's going to work this Sunday here at Pineville Christian Church. To start with, we're going to have 2 worship services, okay? We normally just have one, but this Sunday, and at least for this transitional period, we're going to have 2 services. The first service will begin at 9 a.m. All right, the second service will begin at 10:45 a.m. Now, we're asking that people would not get here any earlier than 5 to 10 minutes before the service time that they choose. So if you're going to come to the 9 o'clock service, you don't want to get here any earlier than 8:50. If you're going to come to the 10:45 service, don't come any earlier than 10:35, and that'll give people a chance to come in, and those who are at the first service to go out, and minimize the social gatherings, which they're saying that we need to try to minimize as much as possible, because we won't have our coffee and our donuts and things, because that doesn't fit into the requirements that they're asking of churches. So there are going to be 2 services. The first service will be for those who want to be here, and it will not have any children under 13. So the 9 o'clock service will be for those who are elderly, those who might feel like they're a little bit more vulnerable, or just want to be a little more cautious, and there won't be any children under 13 at the 9 o'clock service. So what does that mean? If you have children under 13 and you feel like you want to come and you feel comfortable with that, then you automatically know that you have to go to the later service. You say, why do we do that? Listen, all of us know that it's difficult to keep kids and away from each other, and keep kids from coming up and wanting to give folks that they love a hug and touching them. And so as much as we may try to tell them, and as much as we're going to try to manage that responsibly, it's more difficult with kids. And so we want to have an opportunity for a worship experience at the 9 o'clock hour where there's not going to be any children there. So that's what will be taking place at 9 o'clock. How's that going to work? Well, when you come to the campus, you'll park and you'll come. We'll have somebody at the door so that you don't have to touch the door. Won't be a bunch of people touching the door. An usher will be there to open the door for you. You'll come in through the lobby, and you'll pick up an individual communion packet so that we don't have to pass that stuff around, and we're not touching in germs and things of that nature. You'll be sitting with your family group, and the chairs in the sanctuary will be set up such that you'll be able to be 6 feet apart from other groups, so that we'll be adhering to those guidelines. I do want to say that masks, while not required, are encouraged. especially for the early service. And the biggest thing I want to say is we're going to try to use common sense, and we're going to take the right precautions so that we're doing this responsibly. In the second service, kids will be allowed, but we do want to ask parents to try to control the movement of your kids while they're here, so that they're not going out and hugging other people and touching them and causing other people to possibly feel uncomfortable. If you think that's going to be a challenge to control your children, you may want to think, is this the right time for you to start coming back? It's not that I'm trying to discourage you. It's just different people have different levels of precaution, and we want to honor what people feel and what they think. And the state is actually requiring us to try to maintain this social distancing. And so sometimes, we have to know our own limitations, if you will. So you just be smart about that and use common sense. That's what we're going to try to do. Because of what's going on, we're not going to have any nursery facilities or any children's church. So that right there presents a little bit of a challenge. And so you have to kind of think about, as a family, hey, am I going to, are my kids going to be all right sitting in there? And I'm going to leave that for you to figure out. Of course, if you decide that after, all these, kind of ramifications or all the precautions that you may have, if you feel like that it maybe isn't right for you to come back this early, we still will have our service. It's going to be online. It won't be online until a couple hours after our services. They're going to try to live stream, but if my experience has been with live streaming, I wouldn't try to invite everybody over for a party. If I was going to do that to watch the service, I would do it afterwards. That way it gives them time in case there's some technical difficulties. But we are going to try to get back together. I think it's important for us to do that. It's not something that we're taking lightly. We've looked at a lot of different things, and I'll just give you my perspective on this, which is certainly not the Bible, but I hope it's informed by the truths of the Bible. We don't want to take liberties that are going to cause other people to stumble. There's a passage in 1 Corinthians chapter 8 that talks a lot about that, and certainly I don't want this to be that for anyone. I want people to adhere to their own conscience and whether this is the right time or the wrong time. I do want to say, if we're able as a society and people to go out and to begin shopping and possibly begin going out to places of business, but use our common sense and that kind of stuff, then we ought to be able to do that when we come to church as well. But we also don't need to throw caution to the wind and just act like this isn't real, because it is real. Those of us who are connected to people in the healthcare field see people, and people have died, and this is a very serious thing, and we need to treat it appropriately and recognize that, hey, we may not all see it exactly the same way. The ultimate goal here for us at PCC, though, is what? To worship God. And we're going to do that beginning this Sunday for those who are here at those two different services. But some may not be here, and that's okay. I don't want you to feel in any way, I can't stress this enough, obligated or compelled to do something that's not what you really feel in your heart. And so you do what you feel is right. I trust you with that. But I am looking forward to seeing a lot of you. It's not going to be exactly the way we want it, and we don't know when that's going to get back to being everything that it used to be. But I think this will be a good first step, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Now, as I close, I want to encourage you. The way this is going to work is we have some limits as to how many people can come to each service. That's dictated to us by the government. And so what you'll do is you'll go to the church app, the Ministry One app, and you'll register for the service that you want to attend according to the guidelines that I've laid out. Now, if we get to the point where we reach a max, you will no longer be able to register there, and a notification will come to you that'll let you know what you need to do. I think it would be a great thing if we had to do a third service or to do something else, but I don't know that that's going to be something we have to worry about. But go to the church app, or you can go to the website and click on the link to let us know who will be coming so that we can prepare. And if we get to that threshold that's more than what we need, we'll have to do something different. So I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. But if you're not here, it's okay. You do what you feel is right for you and your family, and we'll continue to try to connect through the online stuff and through the virtual things until we get to the point where we're back to fully being able to do everything here on campus. Look, we've said this over the last few weeks. This is something that's uncertain. We don't know what all the right answers are at all the right times. We're all just trying to figure it out. I want you to be patient with us. We're going to be patient with you, but we are going to move forward, and we're going to try to continue being the persons that God wants us to be. And I think that this will be a good step in moving in the right direction. God bless.